Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's from user ThrowArraySafe. My 28 male girlfriend, 31 female of 3 years, confessed to me that she only started dating me because she knew I had a massive crush on her for a very long time, and her roommate convinced her to go on a single pity date with me. So I have had a mega crush on my girlfriend ever since my school days. We were in the same school, although she was one class ahead of me. Now, my crush was such that everyone in my school knew, like, if I was anywhere near her, people would just give a mischievous smile to the both of us. If we were sitting near each other, then my friends would tease me mercilessly. Lol. In short, it was impossible for her to not know about it. But I never had the courage to ask her out. After school, we moved to different parts of the world for our education, and we were not even Facebook friends. Anyways, around 3.5 years ago, I was attending the birthday celebrations of a friend when I saw her again. It was her alright, only she had become even more gorgeous and badass. The friend whose birthday I was attending was a mutual friend from our school, and he of course knew about my crush. There were 2 or 3 mutual friends there who also knew, and they kept encouraging me to go and talk to her. So I finally went up to her with my heart in my mouth and had a small talk with her. She, of course, recognized me from school, and we had a nice talk, and then we exchanged numbers and socials. So, with great trepidation, I did some light detective work to find out if she was single or not. To my great relief, I didn't find the presence of any guys in her feed, so my hopes went up a little. I reached out to her to hang out, fully expecting her to turn me down, but she accepted, to my great surprise. So we hung out, and I found out that we have a lot in common, and then we decided on a next meetup. Things picked up from there, and eventually we became boyfriend and girlfriend. She is everything I expected and more. Plus, she is also extremely happy with our relationship. We have been discussing marriage too. Anyways, last weekend we hosted her best friend and husband for a dinner at our house. The best friend is someone whom I had known during our school days, and she is a good friend too. After dinner we were shooting the breeze, and except me, everyone was pretty drunk as they were staying that night at our place. So we were talking when her drunk best friend suddenly turned to my girlfriend and said, "How happy you are today, and I feel some sense of pride after looking at you too." I smiled and said, "Well, thank you." Then she continued talking to my girlfriend and said, "You didn't even want to give this guy a chance and only agreed when I pestered you to go on a pity date with him, and your plan was to let him down easy after that set date. But instead, you guys are sitting here talking about your future together, and it makes me so happy that I convinced you to take a chance with him. Can you imagine if you had stuck to your original plan?" Her husband by now realized the awkwardness and led her away to sleep. I could see in my girlfriend's face that she was visibly stressed. So we went to bed too, and when she came to bed after changing clothes, she was already in tears. She took my hand in hers and said, "Please don't mind her words." I asked her if it was true, and she admitted that yes, it was. She knew I always had a massive crush on her, so when I asked her out, she didn't want to be mean by turning me down harshly. So she discussed it with her best friend, who was also a roommate at the time, about the situation. The best friend knew me, so she tried to convince her to give me a chance, but the girlfriend was not convinced. Finally, the best friend asked her to go on 2 or 3 dates with me and then let me down easy, and my girlfriend agreed. But then she found out we really clicked together and wanted to continue dating, and well, here we are 3 years later. I hugged her and said, "It's okay, don't worry about it too much, as it's water under the bridge." But as you guys can tell, it's obviously bothering me. And I think she has started to catch on too, as she has been extra attentive and loving to me since the incident. So Reddit, on the one hand, I am the guy who is literally going to be engaged and eventually married to my crush. And it's even better because our relationship is just how I imagined it to be, only 10 times better. On the other hand, it does sting a little to know that she only agreed to go out with me because she pitied me, not gonna lie. Please knock some sense into me before I self-sabotage this wonderful relationship. Thank you. Well, OP, in my opinion, you've said everything you need to know to not sabotage it. I mean, sure, she gave you the initial shot out of pity because somebody convinced her and she didn't want to let you down in a harsh way. But then you turned the odds on your favor, and your character, your charisma, I don't know, maybe your looks, all of that convinced her that she wanted to keep dating you. That she had the wrong perception of you, and you changed that. You changed that. It's not that she decided to stay with you out of pity, or that you were the last single man on the planet and that's why she's in a relationship with you. Or it's not like she's using you as a stalking horse until the next best guy comes along or something like that. She wants to marry you, she wants to have a future with you. In this case, does it really matter that the initial thing was, oh, I'm just gonna let him down easy? I don't think so. To me, this is the story of the underdog winner or something like that. What do you guys think? What would you say to OP, or what would you do if you were in his shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. NCKC177 says, "Don't let this sour what sounds like a really beautiful relationship. I know it sucks to hear that the backstory to your first date wasn't what you thought it was, and the way it was told to you was a little crappy. But I think it says a lot about what an awesome guy you are, cause after just one date, she completely changed her mind about you." And her reaction to this really shows how much she cares for you. She didn't try to minimize it, and she didn't try to lie about it either. It sounds like she's validating your feelings, and it's being sweet and supportive. And remember, this was all based on her opinion of you before she really got to know you. And regardless of the reason, she did decide to go out with you, and she fell for you. You got your dream girl, and you guys sound really happy together. I think it's actually a really sweet story. Blushing smiley face. Finn1205 says, "I don't even know why you beat yourself up about why she decided to go out with you. So yeah, she went out on a pity date with you. But your looks and personality won her over without even realizing the deck was stacked against you initially. And here you are, 3 years later with your longtime crush in love with you. Recognize the win, my dude." Alka909 says, "Does it really matter? You got the girl. It sounds like your ego is being hit more than anything. If your relationship is sound and both parties are putting in effort, then this is more something you will need to get over. Plus, look at the positive. She came in thinking she would let you down easy, but little did she know she would be blown away. I would be quite proud of that fact. Do you know how hard it is to impress someone who already has a negative predisposition of you? Head up and enjoy the ride." Well, the community had a pretty similar approach to what I said, so how about we just move on with the update and see what happened then? So I guess I should tell you what happened after I made the post. In the morning, the best friend apologized for her insensitive comments the night before. She said she got too drunk and that she wanted to take credit for setting us up and playing a matchmaker, but being drunk, she blurted out some unnecessary things. I said, of course you don't have to apologize, as I have to thank you for me and my girlfriend going on that first date. After the best friend left, I went to my girlfriend and shared my feelings and asked her why she was hesitant about going out on a date with me. She then took my hands in hers and told me that it just felt awkward to her. She had known for years that I had a crush on her. On top of that, I was younger and junior to her. Her friends from back home sometimes used to tease her by taking my name, and almost all of our mutual friends know about my crush on her. So when I asked her out, she felt awkward because 1, I was more into her than she was into me even before going out on a single date, and 2, I had her on a pedestal and she was certain that reality was never going to meet my fantasy. So she wanted to avoid going through this. Also, she thought I was a weirdo. She admitted it, lol. But after her best friend went to bat for me, she decided to go out with me and then let me down easy after 2 to 3 dates. Then I asked, well, what changed after the first date? And she said, well, you didn't give off any weird vibes. Yes, you were very happy and nervous as a result, but I didn't get any creepy vibes from you. You were just a guy with a crush, with whom I had insane chemistry even on the first date. And now, 3 years later, I think I have a bigger crush on you than you ever had on me. After having this conversation, we went out to have dinner at the same restaurant where we had our first date, and even tried to order the same dishes, but alas, they had discontinued one of the dishes. Then we decided to order something entirely new, which we both had never had. Anyways, that was the update, guys. Thank you for reminding me how lucky I am. Lol. P.S. We'll be going ring shopping in the first week of December. Well, OP, I think this is a happy update, and you guys certainly seem to be very happy. It is so great that you got out of your own way and didn't become that insecure idiot that would ruin the relationship. So good for you, and congratulations on the upcoming engagement. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user Chris Read It. Steal my dinner, I'm going to minorly inconvenience you. Friday night, my wife ordered a takeaway for delivery for us. An hour and a half later, it hadn't arrived. So we called the shop and they were surprised and said they delivered it a while ago. Turns out they delivered it to the wrong house. Long story short, our road turns into a different road partway down. It's rare, but stuff can go wrong. It doesn't usually happen because you have to go past our house to get there. Rather than say they didn't order anything and check the address, they took in the food and ate it. The delivery driver went around and asked them before delivering the new order to us again. When asked why he took it if he didn't order it, he said, "I don't know." The delivery place was great. Granted, they made a small mistake, but the guy at the other house shouldn't have taken it in. This meant we didn't get our food till 2 hours after ordering. They were very apologetic. I was very angry and wanted to confront the guy, but decided against it. I contemplated my revenge, everything from emptying our dog poo bin in front of their door to putting a brick through their window. Quickly realized this was overkill. I went out with some friends and told them the story, and one of them suggested something great. Post a jiffy bag with a note in it to them without postage. This will mean they will get a notification from the post office saying there is a letter for them. They will have to go down to pay the postage and pick up the letter. In it will be a note asking them if they enjoyed my kebab. I feel this is sufficiently petty and will give me a nice feeling of satisfaction. Very nice idea, OP. This is a fantastic petty revenge. Thanks for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user egrant03. Snow shoveling dramas. This happened in the late 90s, early 2000s for reference. My dad owned a snowblower. During the wicked winter this side of the Rockies, he would use his blower to take care of the sidewalks in front of everyone on both sides of our block. Most of the families on my block were either seniors or those with small families, or younger couples that inherited their dead relatives' homes. Everyone knew everyone, and they understood that my dad was doing this as a courtesy. He was in his 50s and just trying to be a good neighbor. So my neighbors 2 doors down divorced and sell their house to a family from out of state. Fake name, Picards sound good. I know they were from a snowy state, but I don't remember where. They moved in during the late summer, close to the start of the school year. A couple of months later, our state has a massive snowstorm. It would snow for nearly 24 hours for almost the entire winter. You would shovel and clear snow just to get another dump, and you'd have to keep going and going. We had something like 350% of average snowfall that month alone. So my dad is out there during the first big dump with his snowblower, just taking care of business as he's nice. And the third house down had an occupant that walked on arm crutches. He just made a path from our house to theirs. No big deal, been taking care of this for a while now. He gets done and heads to work. He gets home late most nights, so he's not expecting anyone to be at the door as he walks in. Lo and behold, the Picards must have been watching out the window for him as they walk upon him as he opens the door. "Hey, did you shovel our walk?" "Huh?" "Our walk, that one that turns in front of our house." "Oh yeah, I did your sidewalk." "Well, we're not paying you for the shoddy work you did. You sprayed our tree with snow." My dad is out of it after a 10+ hour day, commute not included, so he's not getting what's happening. "I'm sorry?" "You should be. That tree is too small to handle that much snow blown on it. You need to blow it somewhere else." As my dad was one that religiously read city bylaws, he knew the time frame for removing snow and where you could put shoveled snow. The city doesn't allow you to blow snow into the street because it messes with the plow's ability to take care of the streets. But Mr. Picard insisted that he had to blow the snow elsewhere. Knowing what he knew, my dad directed the snow on to the only other spot available, his driveway. A driveway that is almost 45 degrees down from the carport too. Or so it seemed. Wicked steep either way. So the next day, the neighbor comes by to complain again. He didn't know that a small snowfall can get cars stuck in that driveway, let alone what we had plus a snowblower. His car got stuck halfway in the street and he had to get it towed out. If my dad were home, he could have saved them the tow fee, but Picard didn't know that. So Picard is fuming and saying he's going to do his own walk from now on. My dad tries to tell him he's just assisting the neighbor on the other side and he doesn't charge for being a good neighbor, etc. It's cold and my dad wants the door shut, but Picard doesn't want to step in and my dad doesn't have his shoes or coat. So Picard just says, "I know what I'm doing. I'm a grown man. I can deal with a little fluff." The next day, my dad knocks on the neighbor's door and tries to tell Picard about how strict the city is about snow removal and how he has 24 hours from the start of snowfall to get things removed, etc. He wrote down a website where he can go to read the rules, but Picard didn't take it. Now, the city was constantly driving down our block for reasons I won't go into here. The Picards were doing a semi-sufficient job manually shoveling snow away properly. But then, October in my state has a big teachers conference and most families go out of town for a late camping or early hunting trip. So did the Picards. They were gone for 4 days during the worst storm of the season. They hadn't arranged to have the walk shoveled and the snow was piling so high, city inspectors came out. Parents and neighbors complained to the city that they couldn't walk down our street. It was obvious that the walks were being taken care of, so why not theirs? The city posted a 48-hour compliance notice, but it would be 72 before the Picards got back to town. The city charged them with hazardous conditions and failure to maintain property accessible to the public. On top of the labor fee to shovel the walk, it was like $350 easily. The city kept a watchful eye on the property for the rest of the winter for any issues from then on. Once the city has you on their radar, it's hard to be done with them. The cherry on top of the entire situation, there's a knock on the door in early November that same year. One of the Picard kids handed my sister an envelope and just walked away. We give it to my mom and inside there's a note saying something like, "This is for the shoveling you did already." There was a $100 bill inside. My family tried to return it, but they never answered the door. So we used it to take our large family out to our favorite buffet later that week. Thank you, Picards, for paying for a free service. We spent it well. Ah, Picards, if you hadn't been confrontational and just would have asked why your neighbor did that, everything would have been solved easily and you wouldn't have gotten a fine. Serves you well. Thanks for sharing, OP. It's a great story. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.